Hi everyone, welcome back. Like you can see outside, the weather's still real ordinary. No painting's going to happen this weekend, and I might get a little bit of masking done, but that's kind of boring. So we bought one of the front fenders back from the workshop so we can start getting it ready to put on the car. So this one is the worst one of the two, and once this one's right and the other one's stripped and in primer, we're good to paint the car. They're the last two parts on the car. So I'll show you what is going on with this one. The one at work is nice and reasonably straight. It just has to be stripped, a few minor dents taken out and go from there. But it does have rust in the reinforcing on the back side, but nothing that's broken through. This one is nice and clean through there, no rust. Pretty much rust free on the outside of the fender as well. But the front corner took a pretty decent hit and was full of fiberglass and bog and a whole lot of brazing, stuff like that. So we'll show you what's going on there, and that's probably what we're going to spend the day doing tomorrow. So we'll pop you off of here. Now if you look around from here, the body mouldings are just laying on there. So our side mould trim fits up, but then if we can see down in here, that top front corner doesn't fit worth a pinch. Around here goes okay. Nice rust-free bottoms. Everywhere there was a little bit of a blemish, we gave a bit of a hit with the sander and it's come up really nice. There's a tiny pinhole breaking through there, a bit of surface rust, but we're going to take this headlight bucket out like I did on the XA one, so we can try and panel beat around the front here, because this is our issue here. The whole front nose cone got shoved in. This shape through there is all missing. It's had a crease go up through there, and then there's filler that goes from about here and back to about here. And we can see where that moulding doesn't fit the profile of the fender anymore. And yes, it was pulled down onto it a bit and onto the bog, but then it tweaked it, so we're going to try and get it so it lays on there properly and try and get most of that knocked out. I want to see what works, whether I can melt the bronze out or sand it or whatever, just so we can try and get in there, get a bit of heat, and with the headlight bucket out, try and knock that up into somewhat of a shape that's usable, or get it closer, and then work out if there's anything we've got to cut out, remake, and then weld a patch in that's a better shape. So that'll probably be our target for tomorrow. We'll see how we can go on that one. Alright, I'm going to try and clean up and get everything ready, and yeah, we'll see you in the morning and see how we go. Wish us luck. Bye. Okay guys, well we're back into it again this morning. I've tried melting a little bit of the bronze out of there where they've bronzed all the holes up, where they've just put self-tappers in and then slide hammered the dent out of there. So most of it's coming out. I've got this little patch here and a couple of bits in there. We'll just try to use a really low heat, so we're not warping anything, and we're just getting the bronze out. So, where was it? Down, a little patch in there. Him for the moment, a little bit up here. Pretty clean. A couple more here. something, not an idea of where we're at and what we're working with. So now down here, I just heated it up because there was a lot of surface rust and there's that little pinhole in there. So giving it a little bit of a heat and then scrubbing with a wire brush, it's taken all the surface rust off it. And then we'll split this section out when we take this headlight bucket out of there. So we'll be left with that section, which under that bog I don't think's got any rust, but we'll see in a second. We can repair there, straighten the bucket up, and then try and form this lip around there and get that all sitting where it's supposed to be, minus the holes and the wadded up dents. Okay, I'll start getting it all cleaned up, ready to cut the headlight bucket out. These spot welds are really hard to find on these compared to the later models where they're like a definite spot weld. These things are hit and miss and they're everywhere. Alright, so we've cleaned all the paint up. Now we're going to get in there and cut the spot welds out if we can find them and release it. here. And one more up here. Now, see if we've actually released them. So one, and that one's let go. That one let go. Half let go. A little bit on the top. So they've all released. From the bottom up to the corner there. So now the ones through this section are really hard to spot. here somewhere. Really close beside it, I think. Yep. Okay, so those two spots broken. One further down. Nothing really to there. Got one here somewhere. Okay. One about there. This is just quickly roughed for the moment, and I don't know how much it's going to come out, but if we look at that heat ring there, that had a sharp crease going up through there, and we've managed to get it out mostly. It's got a few lumps, but it'll do around here on the edge of it. That's where it starts to wrinkle and all that starts to push up in. But you can see they've drilled so many holes trying to pull the thing out with self-tappers. Every single one's got a crack through it. So even down around here on the front where it's stoved in right there, that's all split and cracked in through there. This lip we can dress up and get square-ish. This front face here we can as well. So I think all we're going to be able to do is get it pretty much most of the way straight, and then from there we'll look at, once it's holding shape, making a section to replace that section where all the holes are being drilled, and welding in a new section probably in this lower corner here and a little bit around the front. This body line, I reckon we should be able to knock that up okay and get that coming back fairly sharp again, and then trying the stainless on there and seeing how it sits. Or I'll go, I'll move the panel around, we'll try the stainless on, see how close it is now, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the plan is, there's a crease there going across that way. There's a lot of them in there, but that one's a shallow one. We're going to try and take that one out first, and I'm just going to attempt to run a little bit of heat down there because it's a fairly sharp one, and hopefully we can shrink it back on itself with a bit of hammer. Excuse me. So, if I just try to get the heat where the dent is, all along it. This may not work at all, but surely we can't make it any worse than what it was. So, going off. And where are we here? Going that way. So that noise, or that pitch, means that I'm hitting on the dolly. Did most of it come? Yeah, right. Okay. This thing's not sitting how I want it. Oh, that's hot. Okay. spot where we can hit it and it's flat on the face, so we don't put any more creases in that are already there. I think we're okay. What's this one got? I think we did okay. Whether you guys can see that or not. So what we were doing, turn this light off. So what we were doing down in there was a sharp crease going in through that. So we've managed to shrink that back in on itself. And on the outside there, it's held shape okay. Just a whole lot more of them to do. Alright, so get rid of this because it's useless. So what we want to do, down in through the nose here, it's got a lot of really sharp, almost 90-degree bends, and then you can see the this recess line through the middle where it's got a nice sharp edge. It gets to about here and the stamping all gets munted up from where it was pushed in. I'm going to try and concentrate around on this peak and just get that little piece in there close. Which one is going to fit? If I go, I can't swing from there. I want to, but I can't because this is in the way. But if I come up through here and yeah, okay. So if I put that and that there. And light up. Okay, where do we want it? Get a little hotter. moving. They drilled so many damn holes in there. Even if I get it straight, it's going to have cracks everywhere. Suppose. Okay, so we've roughed in around the scallop up in here, and we've managed to lift this face here. That was sunk down a bit away from the stainless, and we've managed to lift this edge along here and get this shape back in around the corner. So now when we lay the corner stainless on and just hold it down gently, now this stainless has also taken a bit of a tweak when it was on the fender. I'm assuming it's the same one that was on there when it got hit. So that sits snug all the way from this back edge all the way up, and it follows pretty much the crown all the way around through to there. And from the front edge, it follows that profile all the way around to there too. So, and then the long piece, which goes on here, it pretty much follows the crest of the guard as well. It's also, I'm assuming all this bright work was on the car when it was hit, because it's got a kink about there that when we go to fit it, we can massage a little. And work it a bit so that it pulls flutter. And the clips will hold it down in place. Alright, so that's where I'm going to leave pretty much this section for the moment. It does need some dressing up through there. I'm going to have to strip all that back to bare metal. There's filler in down through there, so there's a few ways that we'll have to knock up. Where that stainless comes across here, I'm going to have to work out where I can cut and put a patch in there, and then a patch going around the front there, and then see what we can do with that inside lip. But for the moment, I've got to strip all that paint off. So you guys don't need to see that. So I'll come back to it once we've got it sorted. Okay, so we've finished cleaning up and I've gotten the paint off all the areas where we need to have a look at repairing. And there was a lot of filler where there probably really didn't need to be. This entire body line through the peak here, it was pretty much gone. It was all shallow all the way out to the edge of the where the bonnet blends in. There was bog all the way up to there, and so that whole nice peak that comes down and comes up to the crest of the fender there was almost gone. So now when you look at it, there's no real dents in it. They just filled it because of all the filler work they did up here. So now it's got that body line back in it. No doubt there's more of it all the way along there that we'll take out and make it a bit more pronounced. And now in here, where they've gone and attacked it with self tappers and everything, so they could slide hammer everything out of the way, the metal is just, it's trash. It's got cracks coming through everywhere where they've tried welding it. What we're gonna do is take the passenger side fender that we've got sitting at work, and I'll make a template of this front face here and the folded lip that goes on the inside of it, and I'll make the new eyebrow and I'll weld it in from about here down to about here, and that'll get rid of all the schmucked up rubbish through there. Once I've got that piece put in, then I'll make this piece of the crown going over there, and I will probably make it from about here going up to the edge of this body line where the scallop is, and that way we can, with it all cut out, sharpen this scallop line up a little bit more, lift it a little bit because that's dipped in a bit there, fix that little bit of rust, and cut it from the center of that bolt hole, which is one of the trim holes, around to here, and that's the other trim hole. So we'll leave that hole, leave that one, cut it and down, and we'll probably then bring it from there over the top of the crown through there, all the way down through to here, and just replace this little strip through there, leaving that original eyebrow and that original piece back there. So that'll get rid of all of this piece here that every time you do anything with it, it starts to crack. So that's where we're at for now. Thanks for sticking around. Give us a like, share and subscribe, and hopefully next time we've got some pieces made up to weld in there and you just can have a look at that. See yous. Bye.